Hello and welcome to class. So today we're going to focus on the posterior chain and shoulders. We'll do a number of exercises to strengthen and open the back line of the body, including a lot of hamstring mobility, hip mobility, and shoulder mobility. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position. You can take a cross-legged seat if that's comfortable for you, or you may also sit on your heels. If that's a little too intense for your ankles, then I would recommend rolling up the back end of your mat, maybe about halfway, maybe a little more, depending on the thickness of your mat. And then sitting back down in a kneeling position with the ankles resting on top of the mat. That way it's a little less intense when you sit back down on your heels. Rest your palms on your thighs, sit up tall, and gently close your eyes. Keep the front of your chest open by rolling your shoulders back and down. And start to notice your breath, observing where it arrives in your body, perhaps just the chest. Perhaps it arrives all the way into the rib cage region of the body, the midsection. Or perhaps it arrives all the way into the belly. Begin to deepen your breath so it arrives into your belly. And as you exhale, draw the navel up and into your spine like you're hollowing the belly, suctioning it, activating these low, deep muscles in your core. Continue breathing this way, slow and deep, observing this movement in your belly. And then lower your chin to your chest and roll your head over to the right. With an inhale, you arrive all the way. Exhale, chin back down towards your chest, and then inhale, head over to the left. Exhale, chin back down to your chest, and continue starting to find your own rhythm. Move slow and start to observe the muscles along the back of your neck and along the back of your shoulders, getting into the trapezius muscles. All right, the next time your head is over on the right, bring your hand to the back of your head and real gently guide your head further over to the right and slightly down. With your left hand, grab a hold of your knee and start to round your spine, stretching your upper back. So we're getting into the trapezius muscles along the upper back and in between the shoulder blades, possibly giving the rhomboids a nice little stretch. Release and we'll do the other side. Left hand to the back of your head. Head leans to the left. As you start to guide your chin down into your chest, with your right hand, grab a hold of your right knee and start to round your upper back, almost like you're trying to puff it up and lift it to the ceiling. Good. Slowly release. And let's come into a tabletop position. Unroll your mat if you have to. And then stack your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Mobilizing the spine now. Drop your belly, pull your chest forward and look forward. Take a breath in. Exhale, push the ground away, lift the upper back, spread the shoulder blades. Good, continue. Inhale, drop the belly, open your chest. Exhale, press the ground away, lift the upper back. Start to move at your own pace, finding your own rhythm. Feel free to close your eyes here as you tune into what's happening along your spinal column. Start to imagine your spinal column is a wave, possibly one vertebra moving at a time. Nice. Good. Then come back into a neutral tabletop position and walk your hands forward. Keep your hips stacked above your knees. But start to lower your forehead to the ground. If it doesn't make it all the way to the ground, not a problem. And taking a different variation than last class, lower your elbows to the ground, shoulder width distance apart, no wider. Bring your palms together and bending at your elbows, draw your thumbs to the back of your neck. So this variation of puppy pose lets us stretch the triceps a little bit more, stretch the shoulder girdle a little more deeply, but also we begin to target the thoracic spine a little more. Since our biggest goal here is to extend the thoracic spine or the mid-upper back. So you'll energetically just work on pressing your chest closer and closer to the ground. Take a few nice deep breaths here. Good. Gently release your palms back down. And then roll yourself forward into Sphinx pose. So lower your hips to the ground and stack your shoulders over your hips. Untuck your toes. Get nice and long through the front of your body. So it's another back bend here. This time we're focusing on the thoracic spine more. So that's the mid-upper back. Energetically draw your elbows back towards your hip bones. So it's almost like you're trying to pull your chest forward between your upper arms. Good. Now this time, option to progress into seal pose if you want to take it one step further. To do that, you'll press your palms firmly in the ground and then start to straighten your arms, lifting your elbows off the ground. Energetically, you'll drag your hands back towards your hip bones, and that's going to help you better target your upper back. If it's a little too intense, feel free to walk your hands forward. For more intensity, walk your hands back closer towards your hip bones. If it's too much for your low back, feel free to always come back down onto your elbows. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, tap your elbows down. Let them slide out to the sides and lower your forehead down onto your hands. Wiggle your hips a little side to side here just to release your low back, bringing a little bit of length back into the lumbar spine. And slide the palms under your shoulders and extend your right arm directly out to the right. Then go ahead and stack your left hip on top of your right. You may keep your feet stacked or staggered by stepping the left foot slightly behind your right. For some of us, this will feel just a little more stable. So you should be feeling a stretch through your pectorals and rotator cuff. This is a really nice chest and shoulder opener. It's a pose that is a fantastic way to help improve your posture if you notice that you tend to slouch a lot. And slowly make your way back down onto your belly, and we'll take the other side. Extend your left arm directly out to the left. Then stack your right hip on top of your left. Feet may stay stacked or staggered. Your right hand is there for support to push you as deep as you want to go in this pose. And if you feel ready to deepen this stretch, then think about inching your left hand higher up towards the top of your mat. If you're kind of at your max and you need to back out a little bit, then inch your left hand down towards your feet, and that'll ease the sensation. Relax your neck and relax the muscles in your face. Try to let gravity do most of the work in this pose. Nice. Slowly make your way back down onto your belly. And let's reset the low back. Bring your hands together, just like we did before, elbows wide. Lower your forehead on your hands and wiggle the hips a little side to side. Now a little more active mobility in the shoulders. Extend your arms directly overhead. And building upon what we've worked on in the previous two classes, lift your arms, lift your legs, and release down. Extend your arms out to the sides. Palms face forward, lift your arms, lift your legs, really squeeze the shoulder blades together, and release back down. Reach your hands back, palms facing away from your body, lift your arms, lift your chest, lift your legs, and release back down. Keep your hands back, lift your arms, lift your legs, squeeze the shoulder blades in, release back down, traveling back towards the top. Extend your arms to the sides, palms face forward, lift, and release. Once again, reach your arms forward, lift your arms, lift your chest, lift your legs, palms face each other, and release. Now this time, without a break in between, 5 times through, kind of like a Superman. Lift your arms, lift your legs, and reach it back, palms facing away from you the whole time. Reach forward, reach back, reach forward, reach back. Keep the legs straight, reach forward, reach back. Good. Neutral neck. Reach forward. Reach back, opening the chest. Reach forward and release. Amazing work. Slide your palms in under your shoulders. Press up into tabletop and take a wide-legged child's pose. Just taking a moment to bring some space back into the low back. Now, if that's too intense for your ankles, do the same thing we did at the beginning of class by rolling up your mat and then placing your ankles on top of the rolled up mat. It'll bring a little bit of ease there. Now, I know this might be a little intense for the knees and hips, but this is a really great way to decompress your low back. So we won't be staying here too long. Just bear with me as long as you can. All right, slowly walk your hands back in, unroll your mat if it's rolled, and let's move into our first down dog of this class. Place your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes under. With a strong breath in, lift your knees and send your hips up and back. Now here's the key. Keep your knees very, very bent so that you can lengthen the upper half of your body. 5 times we're going to practice straightening the legs as much as we can. When you're ready, try your best to straighten your legs. Press your heels into the ground and relax. Let's do it again. Straighten your legs and relax. Straighten your legs and relax. Straighten and relax. Nice. One more. Straighten your legs. Press your heels into the ground and relax. Bend your knees. From here, look forward and step your right foot in between your hands. If you only make it halfway up your mat, grab a hold of your ankle and help guide your right foot further forward. Lower your left knee down, untuck your toes, and start to walk back into half splits. So the goal here is to straighten your right leg. Flex your toes a lot. Good. Then release. Same thing like we did in down dog. Just practice straightening and then relaxing 5 times on your own. Go as far as you can. If your knee doesn't straighten out all the way, that's really not a problem at all. Just go as far as you can. Okay, after your 5th time, stay in that straightened out position. Keep your toes flexed. Don't point the toes. Good. And if your right knee is still a little bent, that's very much okay. Now I like to lift on my fingertips here. And every time you inhale, think about pulling your chest forward. Every time you exhale, think about folding a little deeper into this position. So about 5 breaths in total here. Really focus on that lengthening of the spine. So what we're doing by this lengthening of the spine and energetically pulling the chest forward is helping bring an anterior tilt into our pelvis, which is exactly what we need in order to target your hamstrings. All right, come back into low lunge. 30-second hold here. Sink your hip down towards the ground to open up your left hip flexors. You're more than welcome to stay on your fingertips. And think about pressing the top of your left foot firmly into the ground to really help extend your left hip. Now, moving a little deeper than the previous 2 classes, we're going to start making our way into front full splits. So begin to shimmy your right foot forward. I know it's a little easier if you're wearing socks because then your foot's a little more slippery. But slide or wiggle your right foot as far forward as you can so that you can start working on straightening your right leg. This is especially nice after we did that hamstring flexibility stretch and half splits. So now we're just testing out full splits. Of course, don't put expectations on yourself here. Don't expect that your hips are going to come all the way to the ground. Just see how far you can get with the left hip in extension and with the right hamstrings stretching. If your right leg doesn't even straighten out completely here, no big deal. Hands may be on blocks or books. And in time, focus on your breath and allowing your hips to sink into the ground. Good. We'll start to make our way back into low lunge. I know that can be really intense. So really good work here. Tuck your left toes under, plant the palms firmly on the ground, and step your right foot back, coming once again into down dog. Let's do the other side. Step your left foot in between your hands. As before, you're welcome to grab a hold of your left ankle and help guide it further forward. Tap your right knee down, untuck your toes. Come onto your fingertips and walk back into half splits. So you're trying to stack your hips over your right knee. Flex your toes, try straightening your leg, and bend. 5 times, move at your own pace, pulsing in and out of that half splits. Just like we did on the first side, after the 5th one, hold it in that straight-legged position. All right, once you've completed 5, keep your toes flexed. Every time you inhale, think about pulling your chest forward. Every time you exhale, think about folding slightly deeper into this pose. If your left leg never straightens completely, don't worry at all. As long as you're feeling a stretch on the back of your leg, then you're doing it right. Just about 2 more breaths here. You've got this. All right, slowly come forward back into low lunge. Untuck your right toes. Firmly press the top of your right foot into the ground, almost like you're energetically trying to lift your right knee off of the ground. And that's going to really help you get the front of your right hip opening up. Now, of course, you're welcome to stay on your fingertips or possibly lower the flat of your palms to the ground, whatever works in your body. And now, getting ready for the full splits variation, we tried on the other side. Begin to work your left foot further forward, working it in the direction of straight as best as you can. No expectations if your left leg doesn't straighten out here. It's not a problem at all. Just try to scoot your left foot somewhere so that it's in front of your left knee. Incorporating both that hip extension through the right hip and that half splits practice that we just did. So we're just trying to combine those 2 actions. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out, maybe letting the hips sink even a little closer to the ground. And if they're not as close to the ground as mine are here, not a problem at all. Just meet yourself where you're at. Maybe even close your eyes. A few more moments here. Really nice work. Start to work your left foot back in, returning once again into lunge stance. And then we'll step back into down dog, plant the palms flush with the ground, tuck the right toes under, step the left foot back. Great work so far. From this down dog, start to walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a standing forward fold. Taking ragdoll variation, grab opposite elbows and let your torso sway a little side to side. Keep your knees bent. Then relax your hands to the ground and vertebra by vertebra, roll up to standing. Take your time here, giving your upper back a nice stretch. When you make it to the top, roll your shoulders back and down. Stand up nice and tall. Taking a wide-legged stance, step your feet nice and wide, wider than your hips, with the outer edges of your feet parallel. Bring your hands to your hips to keep your chest nice and open. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, fold forward, leading with your chest. So try to keep a flat back as best as you can here. Now this time, we're going to go for a yogi toe lock. So what that means is that with your index finger and middle finger, you'll try to loop them around your big toes and then finish the loop with your thumb, wrapping them around in like a little circle. If that's too far away and your knees need to bend a little bit, totally fine. And if you want to take any of the previous variations from the previous classes, that is also okay. So that would be hands at the ankles or hands at your hips, just working on folding as much as you can. So this is the final progression of this series, this yogi toe lock. If you have it, start to bend at your elbows, pulling them out to the sides to help you guide your torso in between your thighs. Take one more breath in here. As you exhale, hands to your hips, start to lift back up to standing. Pivot your left toes to point inwards and your right toes to point forward towards the top of your mat. With your hands at your hips, fold halfway. Look for that flat back, just like we've been working on before. And then hands may come to your ankles like in last class. This time around, our final progression is to flex the right foot until the ball mountain toes lift off the ground and find a toe lock with your right hand. Left hand can come to the ground, to blocks or some stacked books if you have them nearby for support. Deep breath in. Think about energetically pulling your chest forward. Deep breath out. Think about energetically folding a little deeper, kind of like that exercise we did in half splits. Nice. Slowly release. Hands back to your hips. Lift up once again using the strength of your core. And let's do the other side. Pivot your right toes inwards. Point your left foot towards the back of your mat. So we have that warrior one stance in the feet. And begin to fold, leading with your chest. Hands can stay at your hips. They may come to your ankles. Or the final progression, flex your left toes till they come off the ground along with the ball mounts. Right hand can come to the ground, blocks or books. And with your left hand, take a toe lock of your left big toe. Index finger, middle finger, and thumb loop around your big toe. And you can use that to gently draw your chest closer to your leg. Inhale, think about lengthening your spine. Exhale, think about maybe folding a little deeper. If you happen to be in any of the previous variations, know that that's also okay. As long as you're feeling a stretch along the back of your left leg, then you're doing it right. Release the toe lock if you have it. Bring your hands back to your hips. Lift up once again. And then step towards the top of your mat. All right, let's reset the body with an inhale. Reach your arms out and up. Feel some length in the front of your body, almost taking a little bit of a back bend here. And then exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands down and step back into down dog. Keep your knees bent, press your chest to your thighs. Keep a long upper body. Now begin to straighten your legs as much as you can and relax. 4 more times. Straighten your legs as much as you can and relax. Straighten and relax. Straighten and relax. Last one, straighten. This time hold a little longer. Good. And release. Lower your knees all the way to the ground this time. Coming into a seat, swing your legs forward out in front of you. Right away, lower down to your back and we'll prepare for bridge pose. So bend your knees, drawing your heels in towards your glutes. Make sure you can tap your heels with your fingertips. Feet and knees are hips width distance apart. With an inhale, peel your hips up off the ground, coming into bridge. Hold it here nice and strongly as you exhale. Tuck the tailbone under, keep the knees hips width, femur bones parallel. Press your elbows and your palms into the ground to help assist you here. Strong through your thighs. Energetically push your feet down to the ground, grounding into your big toes. Take a deep breath in. Hold it here nice and strongly as you exhale. Focus on tucking the tailbone under. Good. Now slowly, vertebra by vertebra, lower yourself back down to the ground. And we'll take broken bridge to release the low back. So just walk your feet a little wider than hips width distance apart and drop your knees in towards one another. So we find some gentle internal rotation through the femur bones. A few moments here. Now, preparing for full wheel. Plant your hands down beside your ears with your fingertips pointing back towards your shoulders. Take a moment to adjust yourself, finding a comfortable position. Then press up into bridge pose. From bridge, you can either stay here, just preparing your shoulders for full wheel, or if you want to try for full wheel today, nice and strongly, press your hands into the ground and lift your chest up towards the ceiling, working on straightening your arms in time. Try your best to relax your neck here and keep the back of your body super strong and engaged. Take a nice deep breath in, hold it here. As you exhale, chin to chest, lower the back of your head, then your shoulders, then vertebra by vertebra, come all the way down to the ground. Release your arms by your sides. You can roll out your wrists if you need to, and step back into broken bridge. Feet wide, knees drop in together. Take a moment here to relax your low back, resetting your breath. Good. Now third and final round, feet and knees, hips width distance apart. Place your hands down beside your head. Fingertips point back towards your shoulders. When you're ready, lift up into bridge. Again, of course, you can stay here, or for full wheel, press your palms into the ground and lift all the way up. Notice that deep stretch through your shoulders, the activation of all the muscles that frame your spine. Keep your tailbone tucked under, ground into your big toes. Draw the navel to your spine. Deep breath in. Hold it as you exhale. Stay strong. Really nice. Chin to chest. Start to lower yourself back down. Once again, release your hands down by your sides. Take broken bridge. Good. And slowly draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a gentle rock side to side, just reintroducing some space back into the low back. Then extend your left leg long. Keep your right knee close. Taking a twist, cross your right knee over your body and extend your right arm out over to the right. Look over to your right hand, and as best as you can, keep both shoulder blades grounded. That means that your right knee doesn't come all the way down to the ground. That's actually totally fine. Let's prioritize the upper half of your body here, more focusing on the thoracic spine and twisting that region along where the ribs are rather than the low back. Notice your breath. And then slowly unravel. Switch your legs. Extend your right leg long. When you're ready, cross your left knee over your body, coming into a supine twist on the second side. Extend your left arm out over to the left and look to your left hand. As best as you can, ground into both shoulder blades here. The left knee doesn't have to come all the way down. If it comes down, that's great. If it doesn't come all the way down like me, that's also great. Connect to your breath. Inhaling fully. And with every exhale, let your body sink a little more deeply into the ground, like you're surrendering to this shape more and more. Good. Slowly unravel. Draw both knees back into your chest. And now we'll do that hamstring exercise we've been doing in the previous classes. Extend your left leg long. So we'll start with the right leg. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Good. Now practice straightening your right leg as best as you can. Keep your hands interlaced behind your thigh and relax. Straighten it again. Activate your quads. And relax. We'll do that 3 more times. Straighten your right leg, flex your toes, activate your quads, keep your hands interlaced, arms can be straight here, and relax. Straighten, and relax. Nice. Now straighten, this time we'll stay. So we just did that 5-part exercise to kind of warm up the hamstrings. Now we're going to stay for the long hold. So you have the option now to walk your hands higher up your leg. Eventually the goal is to grab a hold of your foot, but of course we don't have to be there today just to be feeling a stretch through your hamstrings, which is the priority here. Try to keep your shoulders grounded and let your body get as lazy as possible in this pose. So arms are straight, you're working your legs straight. Nice. And then release. We'll switch sides. Draw your left knee into your chest, interlock your fingers behind your thigh. Flex your toes and straighten your leg, activating your quads, and release. Straighten it out and release. Straighten it out best as you can without letting go of your leg and release. Straighten it out and release. Nice job. Straighten it out, and this time we'll stay. While keeping your upper back and your shoulders and your head grounded, start to walk your hands as high up your leg as you can. If it doesn't go any higher than it already is, it's all good. But if you have the mobility and the flexibility now, just start to walk your hands higher. You might notice that it might be a little higher than some of the previous classes you've been taking. It's really cool to start to note your progress and observe where you've improved. You can give yourself a little mental pat on the back for that improvement. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly release. Prepare for your final pose. Extend your legs long, release your arms out to the sides with the palms facing up. Last exercise before our final pose. Tense every single muscle in your body. Everything. Tense. And hold it like this for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let it go. Our final relaxation in Shavasana. Let go of tension in the face. Let go of tension in the shoulders, the arms, the chest, and the upper back. Let go of tension in the belly, the core, the low back, the glutes, the hips, the thighs, the knees, the calves. Let go of tension in the ankles and all the way down to the soles of the feet. Everything in your body, let's go. Slowly invite your awareness back into your body. And when you're ready, invite some gentle movement back into the hands and the feet. And you might roll out your wrists. You might roll out your ankles. You might rock your head a little side to side. Take any movements you need here to waken up. Then take a deep breath in, stretch your arms overhead, point your toes, full body stretch, and a deep breath out to let it go. Roll over to the side, coming into fetal pose just for a moment to neutralize your spine. And then keeping your eyes closed, press up into a comfortable seated position. Rest your hands on your thighs, sit up tall. Just take a moment to observe how your body feels now at the very end of class. We've done quite a bit of work today, opening up the shoulders, helping to improve our posture. We've done quite a bit of work to open up the hips, open up the hamstrings. Take this time to thank yourself for showing up to your mat and practicing some yoga today. You've done an amazing job at incorporating a muscle recovery routine into your training regimen. And this is going to be something that will help you both on and off the court. I look forward to seeing you soon, and I wish you a great rest to your day.